What's going on, guys? I've got a small little project today. Shouldn't take you long at all, but sometimes it's necessary to do on these older trucks. My 1998 Silverado it's a great vehicle, but I've had to replace several things on it because of its age. So a little bit of backstory. Every time I would pull a trailer or put the truck under load, it would have not really a lag issue, but it would decrease in power. So I got the injectors redone. I'm talking plugs, wires, rotor button, distributor, and that didn't fix it. So then the next time I pulled a trailer, it almost felt like the transmission was slipping. So I had the transmission totally rebuilt, stage 2 shift kit. They put heavier disc and plates in there for when I tow stuff with it so that it didn't give it such a hard time. That didn't fix the issue. So I started thinking to myself, maybe it's a simpler issue and I don't need to go through all that. Well, lo and behold, I'm pretty sure it's my mass airflow sensor. And a lot of you, if you haven't fooled with it or not, it can mess it up. That little bitty part can throw the whole system out of whack. And how I found this out was, and I'm about to show you, if you unplug it while it's running and the motor doesn't shut off like proper and it keeps running, your mass airflow is bad. Mine is bad. Let me give you a look at it. All right, we're gonna crank it up. Cranks right up. Sounds fine. Doesn't have any issues when it's running like this. I'm gonna let it warm up just a minute. So this is how you know this mass airflow sensor is bad. If I take this clip and I do like this, and this truck is running with this unplugged, you know this is bad, because when you unplug this, the motor is supposed to shut off. But in this case, it kept running as normal. So what we're gonna do is, I mean, I can leave this I can leave it unconnected. I'm gonna disconnect the probably the negative on the terminal, just so the computer gets a fresh reset once I plug this new one in. But I'm gonna disconnect the negative on the terminal, and then I'm gonna show you how to get this off super easy. It's clamped right here, and I think my clamp got spun around on this side, but it doesn't. This clamp right here just needs to be loosened up, and then this whole piece just comes out in between these two tubes. It might be very easy and probably beneficial if you also, there's one little tall wing nut right here. You want to undo this wing nut, and we'll remove this whole top piece off here to make it easier to get to that mass airflow sensor. All right, so once you get this little wing nut off, don't lose it. You just need to, I don't know, put it up here somewhere. This becomes loose. You can lift this off, however, it's still connected to that. Don't forget about this little hose. Disconnect that. And you can use a flathead. You can use a flathead on this, but I'm gonna use an 8mm socket instead, just because it's much easier and it's more, not as tedious as a flathead. So give me half a second. I'm gonna loosen this up, and this whole piece should be removed, and then we'll focus on this hidden clamp over here. For me, I might need to rotate it and make it easier for next time. I've loosened this clamp up, so now I should be able to lift up on this box, pull forward, unhook these two little clips, and then we're gonna slide this little twist, get it off that mass airflow. Help me get to it a little bit easier. Let me get over here. It seems to be pretty stuck on there. There it comes. Here we are. So that's off. That's off. Set this right here. I'm also going to go get a rag real quick to cover this up, because this is your throttle body and you don't want anything falling down in here. Like, I've already got a little dead bug right there. So I'm going to go get a rag real quick and get that covered up, and we're going to work on the other side of our mass airflow. All right, at first look, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, you can see through it pretty well. This is my one that I took off of it. It is dirty inside. And the little honeycomb part doesn't look that bad, but I guess there's something enough that's messed it up to where it doesn't want to work properly. This is our new one. I just got it from AutoZone. This is a Duralast. The reason I went with this one, I normally put AC Delco parts all over this truck, but the AC Delco did not have a lifetime warranty. This Duralast did. So this messes up, I take it back, get a new one. It's pretty hard to mess these up to put them in. Your wording right there, the honeycomb part faces your air box, so don't mess that up. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm not sure why this one would not be working properly, because it doesn't look that bad at all. But we're gonna put the new one in there, and I'm hoping it fixes my issue. So give me half a second. I've got to transfer this clamp right here, which goes to the airbox, to the new one. One little thing I want to show you, when I was transferring this little hose clamp piece to the new mass airflow, there is a little divot right there that fits perfectly on there. So I tried to line it up how I wanted to, and it seems as though that's the only way that it's supposed to fit properly. So that screw is kind of hidden down there, but it's because of that little indention right there that this little rubber grommet and hose clamp fit onto. So I'm gonna go ahead and install it. Pretty simple stuff. Slide it on to the airbox. Nice and snug. Go ahead and tighten this down. Again, this hose clamp is 8mm as well. You don't have to go crazy, but you do want it to be tight. You don't want any air leaking around that and causing an issue with your reading. So now that that's snug, I'm going to plug this back in there so it'll be as if it's a fresh boot. Now we're going to take this off. Like I told you before, there's two little prongs on the bottom of this that you got to put underneath the lip right here at the throttle body for it to sit down. It does right, and you'll feel it set on there properly, and that way it's hooked. Now I'm going to get this hose turned around and slid onto this new one. Now this hose is the one that's a pain, so you got to kind of work with it a little bit, and it goes on there. There it goes. That one is nice and tight all the way around. Now we're going to tighten this up. I believe this hose also has little, this hose clamp has little indentions that you want to line these up with as well, just to make it just the snuggest fit you could have it. This is what I'm talking about right here, this little indention on this hose clamp. So the screws are actually in line with one another. But now that this is together, put the hose back on that. We're gonna put a negative back on, and we're gonna crank the truck up and let it run for a minute. And then I'm gonna pull that back off. And hopefully, if this is running right, and this was my issue, this motor will shut off. It should, with the new sensor in, shut off properly. So now we know the new mass airflow sensor in the truck is working properly. It does sound a little bit different, and I think that's because something, I think it was bad and is messing it up. But I'm glad I replaced that. We got that fixed. Little bitty issue, not even much at all. That was probably, I don't know, you can probably do it in about 15, 20 minutes. If you're just taking your time, faster if you really need to get it done, like if you're in a, parking lot or something. But the Duralast one that I bought with a lifetime warranty, I think was like 112 bucks at AutoZone. I'll see if I can put the link in the description. But other than that, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. I've got another little quick thing I'm going to be doing to this. It's not much, but it is something that some people would like to know how to do. It won't take long. I'll just give you a little sneak peek. I'm going to be replacing my throttle cable because I feel like it's a little loose, and I think it's a little zip tie maybe. Somebody might have put a zip tie on the part that's connected to the foot pedal, but I went ahead and bought a new throttle cable because I felt like it's a little loose. I know they're supposed to have a little bit of play, but this one has like a ton of play, and what you hear is my foot pedal hitting. So y'all stay tuned and we'll see that one. Thanks.